What's going on, guys? Welcome to another series, another episode review for Spice and Wolf. This is going to be actually 4 episodes. It's going to be episode 20, was it 21, 22, 23, 24. And then, of course, that, like I said, with the other episode reviews we've been doing, that's just because we weren't able to get around to it the past few weeks because we've just been busy with other things. But yeah, so with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah, so both Holo and Lawrence are at this new village trying to ascertain information about the priest living there, and of course they initially don't get that information because of the priest that they were trying to talk to was a bit reluctant to talk to them because they were strangers at that location. So they make another attempt at this by talking. No, actually, before this, they end up talking. What was it? I think the guy that works at the windmill, who has I guess you could say he has a relationship with the priest named Elsa.
Mm-hmm.
They brought like a load of flour with them from another village to, not flour, wheat that they want to grind into flour over at the what was it, at the water mill or whatever that place was.
Well, they also get a lot of information from the from some of the bar patrons, like they end up. I guess they end up drinking at the bar, and they tell them like what's been going on with the village.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, Evan. That was his name.
Yeah.
So Lawrence talks to Evan if he knows anything about Elsa, and of course we know that like during one scene that it looked like that they were close to each other. So eventually they go back to the church and they end up talking to Elsa. And pretty much like being straightforward with her about like what their intentions of being there, that they want to talk to Father Franz, but of course they realize that that the previous priest has ended up passing away prior to this.
Also, like another thing we should point out is that when Lawrence was at the bar, like he learned some information about, I guess, the village's the guardian deity of the village, which is the snake creature, which we saw in a previous episode. We saw one of the snakes, but I guess that was the deity they worship, or that they worship or something.
Yeah, I guess you could say like it has something to do with like I guess being a deity for their crops or something like that. But it's hard to tell. But eventually, like they go end up talking to Elsa. Like I said, being straightforward with her about what their intentions are, and of course, Holo reveals her secret of being like being a wolf spirit, and this of course shocks Elsa to the point where she passes out. And then of course, when she wakes up, she decides to help them out by taking them to a secret archives of books underneath a basement, which both Lawrence and Holo end up reading over the course of I don't know how long they were in there, but I guess over the course of like several days.
I think was it because one of those books had information on the different like the different date and different like gods or deities or something. I think that because the priest there like was researching that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were like looking more into of like the different deities and of course the village Yoitsu as well. And of course they spent, I think they spent several nights looking into all this information until like one of the, I guess many of the villagers come over to the church to start questioning Lawrence about the wheat that he delivered over to the village, and they tell him that one of the residents ended up dying due to some kind of poisonous wheat, in which they start accusing Lawrence of bringing tainted wheat to their village.
Yeah. With the way that last episode ended, I thought that they were about to drag Holo and Lawrence out and just start like, I don't know, like tie them up or something. But yeah, they basically, like you said, they accuse Lawrence of being responsible for because he brought wheat to the village. so Lawrence ends up having like a conversation with I think his name was Sem, the village elder. They're basically saying that like that where he explains like what I guess the trade relationship that they have with what was that other like the town they do business with? It was
I completely
yeah. So
forgot. I think it
this
was
this other town or this other place, it might be like a bigger kingdom that they basically are trade partners with. They'd been getting, I guess they say that the reason why things are so good there is because they have like this trade relationship where they get a certain amount of, what was it, like a wheat from them, or that village trades wheat with them, and in exchange for like them not being, I think it was like not being taxed as much.
I think that might be the case. It's just there's a lot.
It's a lot of economics and stuff, but yeah, basically like the thing is that they basically in exchange for the wheat they provide, I guess they don't really get taxed, or something like that. So basically like Sem said like he was willing to kind of believe Lawrence because Lawrence had given them the wheat, or because he'd brought wheat there, so he was more willing to believe that it might not have, I guess it might not have been him that poisoned the wheat. Yeah.
It's not really clear, but it seems like Lawrence saying that there's something off with with this accusation, but with without any means to to refute that information, they decide to leave the village entirely along with Elsa and Evan. So they take like a secret passage inside the church, in which they end up getting help by one of the villagers. I think it was the bar lady that that works at the village, and of course she finds out that Holo is a wolf spirit as well. So she helps him escape by sealing off the exit that they went into. So eventually they go outside, and then Holo transforms into her wolf form, which she takes them a considerable distance outside the village until I guess they see like a caravan or something of soldiers or knights heading over to the village that they were at earlier. Yeah. And this of course like I don't know, it convinces Elsa that she feels like she has a responsibility to the village, so she decides to head back in a way to help.
Well, I think what convinces her was that Lawrence tells them that because they see that they're also bringing a priest there, so they think that the village, because I think they found out that the village believes in like a pagan god, so they're convinced they're maybe like heretics or something. So basically like they're afraid that, or I guess maybe Elsa's afraid that like if she doesn't do something that the villagers might maybe be executed for being heretics or something. So she wants to go back and help them.
Yeah. So so I guess in a way it's just, I think it was just Elsa and Evan are going off by themselves, but after like a lengthy conversation between Holo and Lawrence, they decide to follow both Elsa and Evan, I guess in a way to devise a plan to save the village by convincing them that the accusation against them is false, and then Holo can use her ability to, I guess,
perform a miracle. Lawrence said, if she can perform a miracle, then the church might be convinced.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where the episode it gets left off by the end of it. I guess it's
basically like they're about to go and I guess confront the church. I feel like this arc it's okay. But I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I was expecting maybe a little bit more from it, but I guess we'll see what happens with the rest of it. But yeah, so far it's just been very, it's not really that interesting of a story arc in my opinion. It's not bad, but it's just not like, I don't know. I thought it might be like some, maybe a little bit better. Like I said, not bad, but I feel like it doesn't really seem to add all that much, except maybe sort of, giving us a little bit more information about what happened with Yoitsu, and just more moments of some development between Holo and Lawrence. But I think, of course, the main reason why this arc, of course, was included is because I think these characters are supposed to show up later on in the series. So I think that's, why they decided to add it in. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like, if it almost feels like, yeah, if you skip this arc, you're really not missing all that much, except the fact that I guess these characters, maybe the Elsa and what was it, Evan, maybe they show up again later. Aside from that, like, it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a lot really happens in this. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I'm yeah, it's weird because like this, like we follow like pretty much the entirety of the series that we've seen in the original, and now we're going into into a brand new storyline that's actually from from the light novels for the first time. But it seems like it looks like it's something might be resolved by the next episode, but I feel like that obviously there's going to be maybe more material for there to be possibly a second season to continue the story.
Yeah, I get the feeling that they intend to at least cover the original series, maybe in multiple seasons. I think that might be the plan, because I mean it's like, why else remake the season or remake the series and redo the first season just to include stuff like this, because like I said, the reason why they included it was because these characters are going to show up later. So I mean, if that's the case, then I feel like they plan to probably do more in the future. But yeah, I mean, so far I think that it's been a pretty good series in terms of the the remake. I think the main complaints we've really had have just been that it feels like very much just in a lot of ways a retread of the original series, just maybe with some arguably better art and animation, and including elements from the light novel that weren't in the original series, and also I guess including the story arc that wasn't there. But so far, the story arc, like I said, it's not bad, but it's not really as interesting as some of the previous ones. Especially, I feel like the one that preceded it, which is the one with the Marty. I thought that was one of the more interesting ones. But yeah, this one just feels like it's okay, but it's like it feels like you're not really missing too much by not having read, or I guess in this case watched it. Except for the fact that, I guess, like I said, these characters, I guess, supposedly show up again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about these episodes, though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's like it feels. I feel like it is there. It's setting up for something that's gonna happen maybe for the next season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, like it's possible we might get to see some of these characters again in a later story, but it seems like they're gonna end off. I guess the first season by concluding this this new story arc that we're getting. I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna add in some more like maybe add in a new season soon afterwards, maybe sometime later next year or something. But yeah, but overall, like I think the overall story is like it's still good in a way. It improve a lot of this. A lot of the stuff from the original series by improving its animation style. And I guess some of the actors that came back to revoice their characters kind of improve their acting a bit, which kind of does help.
Yeah. I mean, I like at least also for the English version that they got the original actors back for that as well. But yeah, I mean, that's good. And yeah, I think too, like, the other thing is the art style, I guess, also more closely resembles that of the light novels, where the original anime looked obviously a little bit different from the the illustrations from the light novels. But yeah, I don't really have too much else to say. I guess we'll see what happens. Like we said, I guess this will probably maybe obviously this is going to conclude in the next episode, and I guess it's going to end with this new arc. I predict it's going to definitely lead into another season, and we'll probably adapt the rest of the story. There's a lot of indications of that, like how the series started with Holo's daughter, and I think it's probably going to end that way too, like showing. I predict like the way this is going to end, it's probably going to show Holo's daughter maybe, and then show Holo in the future or something. Like that's what I think might happen. She might finish telling like this part of the story to her daughter, and maybe it'll like tease that way. It'll like tease another season or something like that.
Yeah, because there's obviously more stories of for what happens to Holo and Lawrence. Eventually, like they will end up marrying and end up having a child later.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like they need to. I don't know. I really feel like they need to finish up the base story first before moving on to I guess the future storyline with Holo and her daughter.
Yeah, because I think that might still be going too. So I think since the original series is finished, they will probably most likely I think adapt the rest of that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so that all being said, guys, until next time, we will see you all later.